Hello and welcome to BTM Spotlight. Last time on the show, we saw our contestants deliver heartfelt monologues that got us all into our feelings. Today on BTM Spotlight, we dive deeper into the heart of storytelling, which is truly the foundation of every memorable performance. Our contestants are about to embark on a journey where they learn the nuances of crafting compelling narratives from one of the industry's finest. Whether you're an actor or writer or just a passionate viewer, get ready to uncover the magic behind the scenes. Let's welcome our esteemed facilitator for today and get started. A round of applause for Mr. Dominic Akebeli.
All right, so today's class is about script writing, everything you need to know, the basics of script writing and all of that. For those of you that cannot see it clearly, don't worry, I would highlight verbally the enumerations on the screen. So, script writing. What is a script? A script is the written format that serves as a blueprint for the film that you want to do. And I have to stress this thing. A lot of people try to downplay the importance of a script. And I will tell you for free that that is the beginning of the problem of your production entirely. If you have a bad script, you will most likely have a bad production. God may save you to have a very brilliant director, right? But it is always very good to start from the script. Whatever is written down by the script writer is what you hold as your Bible. So in whatever parts of the crew you find yourself, right? Well, as we go further, we will know what is above the line crew members and below the line for another class. But above the line anyways are the decision makers, they are the inceptors, the instigators and all of that. So if you find yourself in any of all this, please make sure that the script that you have to work with is worth it. Do you guys understand? Very, very important. Now, there are certain basics and specifics that you need to know about the script. So if you're a script writer and you are tasked to write a script for a film, the first thing you need to know is what genre. A genre is the type of script, the type of story, the type of theme. What is the theme based on? Are you talking about love? Are you talking about romance? Are you talking about, so that's what a genre is, right? You can see it on the screen. Now, traditionally, in the beginning of spectacle, in the Greek theater, right? Do you guys know have you heard the word thespian?
Yes.
Do you know what a thespian is? Or who a thespian is? Yes. Who's a thespian, sir? Do you know the origin of the word thespian?
I know it came from a guy who was kind of drunk or something like that. Was kind of like imitating this thing. I can't really remember the history.
Basically, yeah. You're not far from it. His name is Thespis. Thank you very much. Yes, so Thespis was the first documented actor in the Greek theater back in the day, and that's where they derived thespian. So every actor basically is now a thespian. Now in Thespis' days, there were just two genres, which is just comedy, tragedy. According to the Greek writers then, everything is drama. As long as it's a spectacle, as long as you are putting it out there, you are dramatizing. So there was no need to make drama a genre in its own form. Do you understand? Over time, it started to evolve. And then it moved from comedy, tragedy, new age cinema now made drama its own genre on its own. So I'll take you through them. Comedy, basically, we know what comedy is, right? I also have to note, of all these genres, there's a lot of them. People modify as time goes by and everything. But as a scriptwriter, I'll tell you this for free. The one you should pay attention to, the one that all your intelligence should go to, is comedy. Now, as a scriptwriter, it's very easy for you to say, not be to make people laugh, not be to write this one and that one and everything, but if you're an entertainer, you will know that getting laughter out of somebody is one of the most tedious jobs ever. It's not easy. It's not easy to write something that will keep people glued for the length of the film that you're doing and entertain them all through. Do you understand? So do not mistake the fact that because you are writing comedies, just to bring out your laptop, go to your script writing software, and then you now just start writing situations that you feel are funny in your head. There's a lot of comedy, so, well, I don't know if time will permit that, but there are different types of comedy that you break down. There are satirical comedies, there's buffoonery and everything. Satirical comedies are the smartest comedies ever because they are telling you something serious, but in a funny way. Do you understand? You have to be very exposed. Now, note, for any one of these genres, as a writer, you have to be the biggest researcher in the world. You have to be the biggest researcher in the world. Have you ever watched movies where something is just not right? There's a particular movie, I'm not going to mention any names and anything, but there's a particular movie that was based on a medical setup, Nollywood film. And medical practitioners went to watch the film. And it was just, I was in the cinema and I know hear word. And it was just like, no, the catheter, is that where they are? Nigerian film. Do you understand? There's also another one that is based on law. In fact, that one was the bloodiest. I went to see that film in the cinema and I went with a lawyer. And she was pissed all through. Great story, right? The story in itself, the progression, the plots and everything, the theme, the message was nice, but there were just a lot of implausible situations. It's like, no, if this person is a lawyer, then... And sometimes those little things can even affect your story. Because it's as much as, if you say this person is a lawyer, then in so and so sin, this wouldn't have happened. It's not possible under the Nigerian profession of law. And if this did not happen, then how come this sin? You've twisted the entire story. So please, as a scriptwriter, be ready to do research. Very, very important. I have acquaintances who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are engineers, and so on and so forth. I studied theater arts in school. Originally, waiting concern all these things. But because of research, I can tell you a lot of things about different fields. Because what I'm writing has to be true to what it is that I'm putting out there. So please, put that at the back of your mind. You have to be the biggest researcher on the planet. So let's get back to the different genres. Drama, obviously nowadays, drama is the normal, straightforward, what we call linear progression of things that are happening. Family issues, societal issues, different things, even love, right? That falls under drama. And then you have horror, which is whatever makes your skin crawl. We all know these basic things. And then there's romance, love, quantity. And then there's action. So action is any high-octane, speed-related film that has to do with nerves and pulses. Do you understand? So anything that involves, well, most action films have violence, right? But it is not violence, it's the aim of the action genre. Whatever is pulsating in the sense of it keeps you glued and has fast-paced projections, is termed action. There are a lot of action films that you do not necessarily even have to shoot a gun or explode a house and a building and all of that, but the progressions are fast, right? It could be somebody who has to get to Lekki Phase 1 from K2 by foot before somebody dies. And then the person is running, the person falls into a ditch, swims into the ditch, a shark tries to come, comes out of the ditch, immediately he comes out, as they run, they come out, a car tries to hit the person or even hits the person over and everything. In all of this, there's minimal violence, true or false? But it is high octane, it is pulsating. Do you understand? So do not mistake an action genre for bisham, guns, explosions, and all of that, right? So that's action. Then there's romantic comedy, rom-com, which is basically light-hearted romance, right? Now, There was a reason why filmmakers had to separate romance and romantic comedy. It now takes us back to the Greek era. Usually, what the Greek people had as tragedy was centered around love. Do you understand? So everything that was tragic to them was stemming from a place of love. Even up until the Renaissance era, even up until the 14th to 17th century in England, you have Shakespeare and the rest, even down to George Bernard Shaw and all of that. If you look at all their stories, there's always romance inside. Romeo and Juliet, right? Macbeth, there's something about love. There's always somebody that is a man trying to get hold of a woman and their obstacles, right? So it was difficult to separate romance from tragedy. And then when you say romance film, there's usually some form of tragedy about it. We'll get into story arc very shortly, and then you will see what I mean by the difference in it. So in different story arcs, there is always a challenge that is sad. Boy meets girl. Boy falls in love with girl. Boy wants to marry girl. Girl's father does not agree. Tragic. In some cases, ends in a fatal, right, situation and all of that. So that was basically what romance is. And then there's also good romance. Not all romantic stories have that hitch, right? Even if there is what we call a climax or a rising action in script writing, yeah, it's not necessarily heart-wrenching. So they now derived romantic, which is where feel-good films came from. So it's romance, right? There are challenges in it, but it's light and it will make you laugh. So that's that for that. There is science fiction, which is a genre that infuses, so they had to put this fiction here because basically a lot of what they do here is not real. It's fantasized. Do you understand? And then that fantasy has to be backed by science because you are still making a film. A film is one of the most educative forms of media, right? So you cannot just come and say that we are in this place, we are in a house, Dominic Aikabili is taking lectures and everything, and then one mosquito came and chewed up everybody's leg. It's fiction. It doesn't make any sense. So for you to make that a great story, you have to back it by science. There has to be a reason why a small mosquito will have that genetically enhanced, do you get, ability to be able to come and chew people's legs. Even if it is not real, even if you are telling a lie, basically, make it plausible. Do you understand? Exactly. So that's science fiction. Paranormal movies have a slight semblance of horror films, but they are not horror films. Right? They are just films that have abnormal incidents happening. Alien invasion. Paranormal activities. Thank you very much. Not necessarily a scary thing, but it's not normal. Do you understand? Aliens are there, kidnapping people. It's not like your horror film where a ghost is coming out of the... It might not necessarily make your skin crawl, but it's not the usual setup of things. Horror films that are not supposed to be horror films, like Halloween Resurrection, where there's just one guy that does not die and is moving around with a mask. Do you guys watch movies? So please, as we go on, I'm going to make reference to movies here and there. And as filmmakers generally, whether you are a writer, director, scriptwriter, whatever it is, even if you find yourself on set and you are a production assistant, please make yourself well-versed in movies. I'll give you guys a recommendation. It's a page on Instagram. It's called The Film Zone. Please follow it. They give you recommendations on films to watch based on your preferences. The Film Zone is on Instagram. So yeah, that's paranormal. And then there's disaster film. This is one of the biggest budget movies ever in human history. The disaster film. There's a flood in Lagos. The flood has wiped out the whole of the island. Everybody has come to the mainland. How do we get volcanoes, right? Things that have to do with disasters. Zombies are not officially backed by science, so zombie will enter paranormal because they are a bit scary. Do you understand? So disaster film is basically natural disasters, hurricanes, right? Flood, earthquakes, exactly, and all of that. So that there's also another part to it, like war films, yeah? War films can also be disaster films, but it is not a war film, right? So if a country with a higher power is invading another country and blows up everywhere and there's starvation and there's strife, crisis and everything, that could fall under disaster film. Yeah, so that's disaster film. Fantasy is kind of like science fiction. It is fiction, but it is fiction that is backed by what is called fable or folklore stories. So you know all those tales by moonlight, yeah? So this is necessarily not science. Thank you very much, yeah? Well, vampires are also paranormal, or in some cases, horror films. So it... Thank you very much. Fantastic. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Hansel and Gretel, The Witcher. Okay, thank you. This is going to be very easy for me. You guys watch movies. Chronicles of Narnia, exactly. What's it? Game of Thrones. Yeah. Game of Thrones originally is supposed to be drama, but you do have dragons that are flying about. Exactly. Yeah. So you see, so the difference between your sci-fi and your fantasy genre is one is backed by science, if it is not actually true. The other one is backed by fantasy. Do you understand? Also, very important to note, there are a lot of films under fantasy that are backed by history, mythology. So if there are films that are focused on the Greek era, right? Theologians and historians said that this thing actually happened. But there's just a lot of stuff. So have you heard about the Trojan War? Yes. With Achilles, Hector, and all of that? So if you read the book, right? They said that gods came down to fight. We don't know. In fact, for those of you that know the story, the arrow that Paris shot struck Achilles on his heel. According to it, it was Apollo, the god of the sun, that came and directed the arrow to go to the heel. Do you understand? Now, this is a historical fact, but it sounds like fantasy. Do you get? So don't miss it. Some historical and mythological stories can actually fall under fantasy. But basically, whatever is not backed by science, that is not factual, you find it in fantasy. Then period film, basically films that go back in time.
So can you call those ones also period films?
No, because the fantasia part of it is what drives it.
So it has a little twist to it.
Exactly. Thank you very much. What's your name? Victoria. Has a twist to it, exactly. So the period film is specific and it is proven. That's the difference. So like I said, there's nobody that wants to come and tell me that Apollo came to use his eye to direct an arrow. However, what happened in 1976 happened in 1976. What? Yes, Gifted Hands. Gifted Hands, 76, the Nigerian film, 76 with Ramsey Noah and everything. Yeah, so all those are period films. There's this Sam Mendes movie, 1917, that had just one shot, all through, right? Those are period films. Thank you very much. Black November, that's no. Black November is the recent one that they did about the, is it Alu for people? The Alu for. Exactly. October 1st. October 1st, in any case, might not. Thank you for bringing up October 1st. So you see, for all these genres, sometimes they intertwine, right? For a film like October 1st, you cannot necessarily call it a period film. Do you know why? Because it has a situation as a period, but has fictional characters. Do you get? The prince that went about killing the girls does not exist. The situation did not exist. It's fictional, right? The Woman King is a period film, although they told it a big lie, but that's not. thank you guys. Exactly. I'm glad that you guys know. A very provoking lie. But anyways, so let's leave Woman King. That one is just an exception. But do you understand what I'm saying? So you cannot call Oktoberfest, even if the theme of it is around an event that actually happened. Yeah, the circumstances around it, the situations are fictional. You get? Period films stick to, when we get into the directing class, yeah, please remind me, I will use October 1st as a this thing, exactly, case study for directorial approaches. Do you understand? So, yes, there are multiple genres. If you watch Mnet, right, there are different, you can have a movie, in fact, not even Mnet, Netflix, when they put the title, the genre at the corner and everything, sometimes you will see sci-fi, horror, period, and everything. Some scriptwriters can be, so you can mix it, right? As long as you, well, when we get into this, so let's move on. When we get into the story arc, you will now see how you can merge different ones and have a good film. So that's period film, things that happened in history, events, and then there's the biography film. The difference between the biography film is a period film, but it is based on one person. If you are doing a movie about Fela, that's a biography film. It's also a period film. Period films are focused on the situation and multiple characters. Do you understand? Biography is specific. It is Mrs. This or Mr. That we are focusing on. Right? So that's that for the genres. Then, of course, script types. Yeah? You have your feature film. Your feature film is your normal, everyday, standard movie, right? And originally, the standard time is 85 minutes. If you have anything below 85 minutes, you are moving towards a short film, or you will be stuck there. Do you understand? Now, for you to get 85 minutes, there are softwares for script writing. Yeah? You have your final drafts, you have your cell text, you have your movie magic, you have your writer duets, and all of that. For a standard professional scriptwriting software, each page is calibrated to a minute. Even if we know that it does not necessarily play out like that, because in one page, you can write a directive, right? And it's just one paragraph. But what happens in that directive will take up to 6 minutes of your time. So it can be tricky when you are writing, but the reason why they calibrated it that way is it's better to have more and expunge than to write below. Do you understand? So if you're gunning for, if you have been commissioned to write a feature film, right? Whatever it is that you write, make sure that at the end of the day you have 85 pages worth. It's just a professional, it's like a hack. Do you get? Very, very sharp script writers. They can write 50 pages and get 2 hours. You can write 100 pages and get 1 hour, 30 minutes. Do you understand? But you need to have advanced to know what you are. Now, script writers who are directors have it easier. I'm a director, I'm also a script writer. So if I'm writing the script, I already have my plot progressions. So when I'm writing a directive or a scene, I have already calculated probably how much time this thing will take. So I can afford to write something that will happen in 3 minutes with just one sentence. Do you understand? But so that you will be on the safe side, right? And for beginners, just try as much as possible to make sure that you have 85 pages for it to be a feature film, right? And then the short film originally is 30 minutes max. You can skid above it, right? So anything above 30 minutes to 1 hour, we don't call it what we want to call them, you're on your own. It's a something. It's not a short film. It's a film. It's a film. You shall wrote something, it's a letter. And then you have documentaries. Documentaries are basically, documentaries are actually period films. Do you get? There's no two ways about it. You are writing about something that is either that has happened or is happening, progression through time and everything and all of that.
But
Yes.
do they have the standard duration?
No. Documentaries don't have a standard duration. So it's, even if they don't have a standard duration, you have to be very, very mindful of your audience. Do you get? So if you're talking about drug abuse, if it's a documentary about drug abuse, yeah, it's a prevalent thing in the society. So you can talk for 3 hours, 4 hours, and if you're a smart writer, you keep people glued because there's so many things. On the other hand, if you're talking about how the Calabaris do weddings, that target audience is, do you understand? So if you want to come and be telling us about 3 hours of how they used to pay bride price, wouldn't concern me. Do you get? So in terms of duration for documentaries, your focus should be your target audience, right? Okay. I don't know, we all know what skits is now. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Then there are...
For that documentary as well,
Yes.
the reference you make, how to keep that right.
Yes.
I think it depends on the angle you're telling the story from. So
There are various, exactly that. So thank you very much, Director. So all still boils down to your audience. So if you know that the audience that will, focus on this will love to hear more, then by no means, do you understand? So you see why it's not time bound. Exactly. A documentary can be 30 minutes, it can be 3 hours, it can be, right. So deliverables, yes, please.
Yeah, do we have those series now that we watch under short films? Series now, right?
No. Series that have episode 1, episode 2. Oh, okay, thank you for bringing that. Sorry, I failed to add that to this. So there is film and there are shows, right? And shows are not films. I see that common mistake in under comment sections. You're talking about a show that has an episode and somebody will come and say, this film makes sense. You do not know how blunderous that thing is. Do you get? A film is a film. A film ends. If there's a sequel, if there's a follow-up, it is another film. A show or a series is a visual representation that comes in bits. It is a show or it is a series. That's what you call it.
Is there a difference between a film and a movie?
There's no difference. So film is just basically, it's semantics, is the way you call it. So film is more professional. For we who are behind the scenes, yeah? We are not making a movie, we are shooting a film. Get that? Do you understand? The term movie is basically what you use to tell the film you have shown. Now, the reason why film is more professional for us is everything that we do is calibrated to filming. Do you get? So it's the same thing. Do you understand? It's the same thing. Back in the days when there were reels, everything. Yeah, you do not know how fortunate you are. I started filming when you've heard the term rolling tape.
Yes.
I started shooting when we were literally rolling tape, and it was not funny. So now you have memory cards, and if you have an error, you can erase. Yeah, you can format your cards now. You cannot format tape. It's gone, is gone. Sokpe, O-T, law, fine. So if there's a mistake in that tape, and you cannot use it, you will go and buy a new one, right? So I'm trying to bring you to the filming, yeah? Now, before, even me that I am complaining, yeah, when we were buying tapes, we were still fortunate. Back in the day, when it was celluloid cameras, when we were using reels, you will actually go reel by reel, film by film. That's why you say you are making a film. Do you get? Editors back in the days, they didn't hear win. It's called splicing. You have to splice these things, and that's a whole. We're into script writing, right? So yes, it's actually the same thing. A film is a movie is a film. But in terms of the crowd you find yourself, you know which term to use. If you are on a set, right? Yeah, exactly. If you want to show that you're a professional, we are making a film. Do you understand? Yes.
So, under biography,
Yes.
Let's be late for their life. Because I
Either.
cannot be public. That might be
Yeah, no. It can be either dead or alive. Either dead or alive. Yeah. Even there are certain biographies that cover events that happened even yesterday when you were shooting. Do you get? So it's just basically about one specific person. All right. Yes, ma.
Yeah, you're saying something about show and
Series.
series.
Yes.
Okay, let me use this Jennifer's Diary for instance.
Is a show is a series.
It's a show, it's a series.
Yes. Just
Show and
a show is a series. Again, it all comes down to the term that you are using. So, are you guys heard of pop culture? So, pop culture has twisted English like this. There are a lot of things. Nobody should come and cancel me. But today, the person that English and dictionary says is a glutton, we say he or she is a foodie. Do you understand? So, for you not to confuse yourself, see series and show as glutton and foodie. It is a series professionally, but because of pop culture, language, and everything, it's easier to say, have you watched this show? Do you understand? You seems like you have not gotten it very well. So let me just break it down for you basically. It is a series. As a filmmaker, call it a series. It's easier for you. Anybody that says it is a show, just allow it. Do you understand? But for you, you are doing a series professionally. Do you get? So, yes, we have there are deliverables, specifics. So if you are commissioned to write a script, yeah, the first thing that you need to do, sometimes some people commission you might already have a story, they just want you to modify it, have a theme, right? Okay, I want this thing to be about love, right? Or finance or whatever it is. But in a situation where a producer comes to you and says, we just need we are gunning for so and so please, we need something that will be captivating and everything. The first deliverable that you will be tasked to get is a log line. Now, a log line is usually 1 or 2 sentences, simply just stating what the film is about. Example of a log line. A director comes to a TV show to educate people on filmmaking. Log line. It's pretty short. It is, however, very important because when you go to studios, right, that pick up scripts, the executives, so there are some studios that have like 500 scripts that have been submitted. What will make them move into your scripts is the log line. So if your log line is as short as it is, if it does not grasp them, they will just be, what's this guy talking about and everything? Oh, a lady is trying to, this thing, the guy played ball, a bat has beat somebody in K2. Do you get? Log line. After your log line comes your synopsis. The synopsis is an expansion of your log line. So the log line is a director comes to a TV show. The synopsis goes into paragraphs, a paragraph or 2 paragraphs, but keep it short because it still has to be brief enough for them to read through and get it. You now explain, okay, then what? As he was talking, the students now decided that they want to beat him up because he was saying rubbish. You go on. So synopsis expansion of your log line. You have a treatment, right? Now the treatment is very, very technical because your treatment is, there are 2 ways of writing treatments, right? So you can enumerate or you can paraphrase in paragraphs. Now a treatment is your script from beginning to end, but without scenes, without your character, dialogue, and everything. So this is what happened from the beginning. Give your entire plot, right, up until the end. So we'll just move on. Over time, I hope we'll pick up things. And then your drafts, right? A draft is your full script, but there are usually 3 drafts, right? So you do a first draft, send, they read, make corrections, come back to you, write again, send, before you now have a final draft. And then, okay, notes, there's complex plots, there's linear plots. But let's quickly get to this, yeah? I hope I can get this done within the amount of time that is left. A story arc. A story arc is a projection of how your script goes, right? So quickly, it starts with the setup. The setup is the beginning of the film, right? This person has come here, so and so person, and so on and so on. You can see that the graph rises, gets to this point, and comes down. Then there's your inciting action. The inciting action is that point of the script where everybody now knows that something is going wrong. Do you understand? This is not happening. You are beginning to now guess that, well, Yawadeo, exactly, that's your inciting incident, not action. Then it gets to the rising action. The rising action is the point where the protagonist is the person that the story is following. So there's protagonist, there's antagonist. Antagonist is who you call your villain, who is going against. Thank you very much. So at the rising action, things have started to go down. This is the point of your action, right? So if you are going to fight anybody, or when anybody is going to kill your character, it starts here. The climax, now you know why this is at this point here? So in standard script writing, your climax should account, if you have 85 minutes, your climax should account for 40 minutes. This is the bulk of the film. Whatever has been instigated from the inciting incident to the rising action all comes to this point. It's a cluster. Do you get? If you are doing an action film, right? Your basic action, everything is from here to here. All the bass boosts, all the everything, all the cluster of emotions comes to your climax, and then it starts to drop. So there's success or failure. In Greek theater, it's called the catharsis. The catharsis is basically expelling of emotions. Do you understand? So this is where the protagonist will now realize whether he has made sense or not. Realization process. And also for the viewers, it is at this point that you begin to see whether this guy, exactly, thank you very much. Do you understand? Success or failure, or the cathartic points. Then there's the falling action. The falling action is everything has already happened. How do we now, are they going to make peace? Is anybody going to die? Is anybody going to resurrect and everything? And then you now have your resolution. So your resolution at the end of the day, after they made peace, they then now do charity for people not to make those mistakes again and all of that. So that's basically it. And then other key things that you need to do when you are writing professionally is, you know what your character is, right? Your character is the person that you're talking about. There's a dialogue, what the person is saying, and all of that. The directive. So usually when you have a scene heading, you number it. Scene 1, house, day, right? So your scene heading is, it comprises of the particular spot. Is it interior or exterior, right? So you put INT or EXT, right? Then the location and time of day. What comes next is what we call the directive. So basically a sentence explaining what is happening here. And then you go, so there's character and there's all that. So as we go on, like I said, in next classes, if you want me to piggyback to, we always make references, because any other thing we are doing, what you are acting is you're acting the script. What you are directing is you're bringing out the scripts and everything. So, questions before we wrap up for this class? Yes, ma'am.
Taking it back to documentary. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can we type into like there are some types of documentary? I remember one documentary. Can we take on that?
Well, a mockumentary is a non-professional documentary. Like you said, it's a mockumentary. Do you understand? You're mocking. Which is why I also said that as time evolves, people come up with different genres and everything. But a documentary is a documentary. You are educating people about it. When mock comes into it, you are now trying to alter what the genre is supposed to be. So I wouldn't classify a mockumentary universally as a type of documentary because it has a purpose of, do you understand?
What's the purpose of
To laugh, to make mockery of.
Serious.
So this is the reason why I wouldn't call a mockumentary a documentary. A documentary educates you. A mockumentary can mislead you. Because in a bid to make you laugh, they might alter the actual theme of what's happening. So how is that educative? A documentary is supposed to educate you. But if you watch it and basically you're not learning, you're just laughing, then you cannot call that a documentary, can you? Still a piece of work. There are good documentaries that I've seen.
If you decide to make mockery of the situation in Nigeria right now, call it a documentary or a mockumentary.
Once you are mocking it, is a mockumentary, yes. A documentary is direct, right? This is happening, the fuel prices have hiked, and this is the situation of things. If you want to do, yes, focus on the news. Do you understand? For a mockumentary, you are still talking about fuel hike, but you now have to now bring some kind of satirical undertone to it. Do you get? Which is now basically, for a mockumentary, you are now seeing people backing each other. Alpha, you dey go Jota, you come, fuel don't. Okay, but fuel don't cost and everything. But what's up? Are people really backing themselves? No. What is the implication of the fuel hike on cars? Is there less traffic? You've missed that out. Focus is to make people laugh. You've hit the mark. The mark is that fuel don't cost. But you've not educated people on. Thank you very much. Yep. Yes, sir.
As a screenwriter, what do you do with your script that probably you tried presenting your script to an executive producer and he did not accept it? So what will you do with that script? Does it mean that you get rid of it?
Nope. Let me tell you something, There's no, how will I put it now? There are bad scripts, but there are no useless scripts. Does that make sense? Yes. There are bad scripts. If your script is bad, forget. But it is never useless. Because art is perceptive. So what I see as a bad script, someone else that is less dense or less educated by me will see it and say, nah, this one I want to shoot. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't make sense, no worry. Shoot them. I'll put them for my house. So please get that. There's such a thing as a bad script, but there is never a useless script. Never. Keep pitching. The only thing that will make your script useless is if you, the script writer, gives up on it. Somebody will pick it. I guarantee you, somebody will pick it. You've just not met that person. Art is perceptive. Right? All right, so I think that's the time we have for this class and everything. We'll meet in the next class and hopefully we have a joy ride. Thank you all very much.
And that wraps up the screenwriting workshop. Our talented contestants have not only honed their acting chops, but have also gained invaluable insights into the world of storytelling. A big thank you to our wonderful facilitator for guiding them through this transformative experience. Remember, a great performance starts with a great script. Until then, keep the passion alive and the stories flowing. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, Thread and Instagram at Black Thread Media, Twitter and YouTube at Black Thread Films, and BTM socials and hashtag BTM Spotlight, hashtag BTMS. And for more information, please check out our website, www.blackthreadmedia.com. Thank you. Join us next time on BTM Spotlights as our actors continue their chase on the silver screen.